before I see Skyfall on 26th November this Friday, I figured I'll review Daniel Craig's first two previous James Bond movies, Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace, giving my thoughts and opinions on both of those movies and how I feel, if they're good or bad, and kind of give my stamp on those movies before seeing the new movie this Friday. So I want to talk about the storyline, the characters, the genre, anything else I think is important to mention when I talk about these movies. The first movie I want to talk about for this review is going to be Casino Royale, and I'm going to do Quantum of Solace in a separate review. So let's talk about Casino Royale. The story of Casino Royale follows James Bond, who's just become the 007 on his very first mission to stop a bank in England, Chiffre, who's connected to a worldwide terrorist organisation, and he has to uncover his plans and put a stop to whatever he's doing. That's the kind of basic kind of plot point for Casino Royale, without giving any major spoilers, just in case you haven't seen it, of course. Now, what did I think of the storyline? Very, very well done. I'm very impressed with the Casino Royale storyline, how it is put together. It is absolutely fantastic. Really good. It's intelligent, it's engaging, it's there's so much more than just what meets the eye kind of thing. It's not one of those kind of movies which, for like a 2.5-hour movie type thing, it doesn't get boring. It gets very, very interesting. There's so much depth within the storyline. I imagine the script must have been one heck of a challenge to put, based upon this was an actual first novel, very first James Bond story officially. Of course, the very first movie was Dr. No, of course, with Sean Connery, but this was the very first original book done. So they had to put this to a script format, which I imagine would have been a bit challenging, because they seem to have updated a bit more. They made it a bit more 21st century. They made it a bit more modern, the scripting and the actual story of it. And being in this is James Bond, the person we've all come to love, the very first mission is going to be very challenging, very interesting to kind of play that character. And I think it was done really, really well, especially the director, the acting I thought was excellent, and the script writing, was absolutely fantastic. Story of Casino Royale I think is very, very well done. I think it's excellent, it's very smart, it's very intelligent, and it doesn't spoon feed you anything. That's what I like about it. It just allows you to kind of figure out things for yourself. It gives you kind of hints, and it gives you information when it's appropriate, and the main story is obviously focusing on James Bond, this kind of very early version of what the character that we've come to know and love kind of thing, and we just kind of follow him throughout this entire movie, how things are going. We get to see points of view from the good bad guys and the good guys, but it always focuses on James Bond and who he is as an actual character. And we know James Bond is a bit of a womanizer and he likes the gadgets and stuff, and he's very charming and all that type of crap. But like this one focuses on him as an actual, as an actual person, as an actual kind of being, in a sense. The fact that you can't just become this kind of character, this kind of overnight. So what started that? Who is he before, kind of thing. And we find out in this movie that he was an orphan. He kind of wears suits because he thinks that the world's like suits. He dresses to just to appeal to what everyone else thinks. There's more to him than just a classic kind of, oh, I'm a 007, secret spy kind of thing. He's kind of bitterness. He's very dark in some of the scenes I've seen. He's willing to kill people without a snap like that. I like the hand-to-hand combat in the movie kind of thing. It shows him and how he kind of fights. He doesn't need gadgets, he doesn't need guns. He can physically come to hand-to-hand combat with you. But there is some times in the movie where he actually is in danger, and he actually he gets tortured in some of the scenes. And it's nice to see a bit of vulnerability with this character. He's not just this kind of action hero that can stop anyone. He does have weak moments. There's points where he's, oh crap, the character could die, oh my god, kind of thing. And he's going against villains which are not really villains in a sense. They're just kind of people that have made their kind of lifestyle choice in a sense. Like Lashif's character and stuff. He's not really a terrorist or a baddie in a sense. He's just a guy that likes his numbers. He's very smart, very intelligent, and he's made some mistakes, kind of thing. So the story of Casino Royale I think is absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed the storyline, especially the last. The last hour of the movie I think is probably the strongest point for me anyway, because we get to establish who he is in the start of it, his character, and set up the story on the characters, what's going on, what's the main kind of drive for the movie in a sense. And the last hour of the movie focuses on, of course, Casino Royale and the actual poker games, and focus on him versus the Chiffre, and I like that. And you get to see a bit more vulnerability with his character also, with him and Eva Green's character, the money. So yeah, absolutely fantastic, really good.
The man was Le Chiffre, private banker to the world's terrorists, which would explain how he could set up a high-stakes poker game at Casino Royale in Montenegro. If he loses this game, he'll have nowhere to run. You're the best player in the service.
The director for this movie is Mark Campbell, who also did a previous James Bond movie called GoldenEye, which actually is one of my favourite James Bond storylines and movie. Out there, Pierce Brosnan, the very first one for him, so fantastic director. He was an absolutely fantastic choice to pick to do another James Bond movie. But he has done a couple of other movies which are not quite as good, which includes Green Lantern, Virtual Limit, and The Legend of Zorro. Yeah. I especially like the camera crew in this movie also. I like the kind of long distance shots, I like the medium shots, the kind of close-ups. It's not really shaky camera in a sense, the fight kind of combat styles actually look really, really real, and they look really well done. So when you actually get to see a full-on combat scene, it looks well presented, so you can see nice fluid motion. I really like the camera work for this movie, it's fantastic. The stunt work, also fantastic, especially at the start of the movie, the cranes and stuff, and later on, of course, absolutely fantastic.
The only question remains. Will you yield?
They give James Bond's character a bit more of an emotional stake later on with the movie, without giving any spoilers away kind of thing. There is some scenes later on in the movie where he's kind of, he's kind of broken in the sense, and there's some quite sad scenes, to be perfectly honest, and we kind of find out why he is such a womanizer in a sense, because, a character like that doesn't become a player just like that, there's a reason for that, and I think this is kind of the reason for it, if I'm without giving it away kind of thing, just in case you haven't watched it, for any reason. I definitely recommend it, by the way, if you haven't watched it. Yeah, it gives him a bit more of an emotional stake, and we see him a bit more of a vulnerable side to his character, and we just find out reasons why the way he is in a sense, and it proves that he doesn't need gadgets, he doesn't need the resources. He can do it. He can go out by himself, and he can take down or stop anyone that he wants. He's going to get hurt at the end of it. He's going to get bruised. He's going to get punched. He might get injured. But he will always come back fighting. That's what I like about the movie specifically. That's why I like how it presents itself and how it presents the characters and the story and all that type of stuff. So really fantastic. The ending of the movie, I think, is really, really good. It's classic kind of James Bond to end it like that, and just that kind of snapshot is fantastic. And of course, you get the theme music at the end. Perfect ending. Casino, we have Daniel Craig as 007. I thought Daniel Craig's performance in this movie was absolutely fantastic. He's definitely deserves to have that kind of James Bond title. Some actors in the past have not done very well. They've done one movie, two movies, and kind of left the project. Daniel Craig deserves his standpoint on James Bond, and I think he's become one of the most cult, one of the most modern type of James Bonds that we've ever seen, in terms of the characters, and I think everyone really likes Daniel Craig's version of his character. He is a more of a 21st century version of James Bond compared to, like Sean Connery and Pierce Brosnan, all that type of stuff. Don't get me wrong, I think those characters are really fantastic, and those versions of those characters are still really, really good, and I still really like them. I think Daniel Craig brings something a bit more depth, he brings something a bit more intelligent and a bit more kind of, something that we can relate to in a sense. He's not just a simple, oh, I'm a secret agent, I'm a womanizer, I can take you down with all my gadgets and stuff. He is a person, and he goes for a lot of stuff in this movie, and for Daniel Craig to bring that kind of thing, that performance within the character, and he's done some really fantastic films before, with like Layer Cake, and of course with Cowboys and Aliens, and many other fantastic movies since then and before then kind of thing. So fantastic actor, really gifted actor to pick, as 007, and I think he did a fantastic job in this movie, and I think he will continue to do a fantastic job in the new Skyfall movie. Also, we have Judi Dench as Emma in this movie. Of course, she played Emma within the previous 90s 007s, with, of course, Pierce Brosnan with GoldenEye, The World's Not Enough, and Tomorrow Never Dies. Those type of fantastic actress, a really, really strong female protagonist. I think a fantastic choice to bring a character back within a more of a modern James Bond. Because James Bond character being kind of like a womanizer in a sense, and Judi Dench has been more of a kind of a tough kind of character in a sense. So you get a kind of clash, kind of relationship between those two characters. She's very straightforward. There's a couple of lines in the movie where she's like, add one more syllable and I'll have you killed, kind of thing. You do not want to cross her, but she is very straightforward. She's very blunt, and she's willing to put James Bond in his place. Just because you're this person, doesn't mean your charms are going to work against me. So stick in line or I will kill you, kind of thing. And I like that kind of clash. And the dialogue between the movie is absolutely fantastic. When she's putting like a tracking device on him and all that type of stuff, she kind of doesn't trust him in a sense, and she's kind of trying to keep an eye on him. So I like her character, and Judi Dench is just a really a treat to have in the James Bond universe in a sense. And of course a British actress, which is even better, to be perfectly honest. So fantastic stuff. Judi Dench is a fantastic performance in this movie, as she's done in previous roles in the James Bond movies. So good stuff. So in this movie we have a character called Chiffre. I can't remember the actor's name, but he's a really fantastic actor also. He plays kind of the villain of the movie in a sense. He's not a typical kind of, I'm an evil villain kind of thing, I do it for selfish reasons. He is just a banker that kind of launders money in a sense for terrorists around the world in a sense, and he kind of gambles with that money and it goes very, very wrong, so he has to try to win back that money in a poker game, Casino Royale. And he's just a character that likes, he's intelligent, he's good with numbers, he's good with calculations and stuff, and when it goes very, very wrong for him, he panics, he doesn't know what to do. And I like some of his scenes, especially with him and James Bond, especially when he's torturing him, and you just see the sweat in his face, you just see him like kind of a broken man in a sense, and he is really scared and petrified, and he's just like, give me the code, give me the money, kind of thing. I like that, it shows him a bit more of a depth character also, and I like the look of him also, that kind of tear of blood kind of thing. I think that's really creepy, and it's kind of a signature point for a James Bond character. Like with Jaws and stuff, with the teeth and the big guy, and of course you got the guy with the cat and stuff, that kind of chair. It's if you look at past James Bond villains, I think the Chief's kind of character will definitely be up there as one of the top ones for sure, just for the look of him, kind of thing, the way he presents himself. So a really fantastic actor also. Also in this movie we have Eva Green. She plays the kind of love interest for James Bond's character in this movie. Again, she's kind of a strong female kind of protagonist character in this movie. She's not a typical kind of I'm going to sleep with James Bond, just that easily kind of thing. She is a quite a strong woman. She reads James Bond. I love the scene on the train with James Bond and her just kind of talking and kind of bouncing off each other in a sense, and they're kind of analysing each other and kind of their weaknesses and just the things they kind of pick up from each other. I think it's really fantastic, and I think James Bond's character, he really cares for her. I think at first he kind of just sees her as an actual just another woman that he could sleep with, but she becomes so much more to him. And I think the last kind of hour of the movie kind of shows that really kind of deep in his character and that kind of relationship in that sense. The scene within the shower when when she sees James Bond killing someone and she helps him, kind of thing. She's in the shower, she's just doesn't know what to do, she can't get clean, kind of thing, she's freaking out, and James Bond just turns the hot water on and just sits with her, kind of thing, because he understands, he knows, and he kind of misplaced her in the sense, he understands that people are vulnerable and they do get hurt, and and he cares for her. I like that, and I think Eva Green's performance in the movie is really fantastic, and I really like what she brought to the character, and I really like how she interacted with Daniel Craig's James Bond, and I like the scenes they did later on with the movie. I think it's really fantastic. It's really emotional also. So fantastic performance. It really said something to me, as an actual actress performance, and I think her work is really great. She picks her roles really, really well. She's not an amazingly huge actress, but she's done some really good other movies also, and kind of television series, which has been like, yeah, fair play kind of thing. So good stuff. The rest of the cast also in the entire movie is really fantastic. Some recurring characters later on with the next movie also return, but the casting for this for Casino Royale is really, really great, and you kind of respect the actors, and it's well casted for definitely for sure. I'm going to give Casino Royale a stamp of approval. Now I do have the DVD also. This is the 3-disc deluxe edition. I paid £18 for this at HMV a long time back. So don't worry, I haven't been ripped off or anything yet. This is a really fantastic set. This features all the extras for Casino Royale, everything you want to know about the movie in terms of audio commentary, deleted scenes, makings of, Daniel Craig's becoming welcoming James Bond for the very first time, bringing back James Bond to a more of a modern day audience in a sense. All those things you want to know are in this kind of 3-disc deluxe session, and it's a really fantastic kind of packaging and extra. But let's talk about the actual edition itself, a bit of trivia for you. Now, ages back, when the film was very first released on DVD, they released a 2-disc version of it, which only featured a couple of basic extras, kind of an audio commentary and Daniel Craig's becoming James Bond in the music video, that type of stuff. The main reason they had this problem is because they didn't have all the extras in time. They were still doing putting all the extras together for the extra DVD, but they didn't get it in time, and the distributors were wanting to release this film, so because they knew a lot of people would definitely buy it, and they sold it for a very, very cheap price. I originally had the 2-disc version myself, so they saved all the extras, and they put it all together. They left it all together until Quantum of Solace came out in the cinemas, and they released a 3-disc version of this movie with all the extras, all the lead scenes, the makings of, script to film in a sense, the copyright reasons. Now, in this actual box set, it tells you why it took so long for James Bond to come back to the screen in a sense, and the copyright reasons they had with Casino Royale, because some other guy, this kind of rich billionaire, whatever, bought the actual copyright, and they had to try and convince him to try and buy it back somehow, to try and get it so they can actually make this movie. Otherwise, they couldn't actually do it. And it tells you a lot about what happened, in terms dealing with this person, and how to making it, and people being a bit skeptical, and that kind of changed because Casino Royale was a bit of a gamble in a sense, because James Bond didn't do very well with, of course, with Die Another Day. That was the last James Bond movie to be done for a good couple of years, to be perfectly honest, because that was a complete and utter terrible movie. So bringing back James Bond was a bit of a risk in a sense, because they didn't know if it was going to pay off, and the actual writers and the director and everyone else pretty much knew what they wanted to do. They wanted to go to do a prequel story, do something before everything else was set, and go back to the very first route with Casino Royale. And that's the kind of route, and that's one of the origins for it. I won't say too much because I want you to experience it for yourself. You can get this disc DVD edition for a very, very cheap price. You can get it for a $5 on Amazon, Play.com, whatever. You can also get the actual Blu-ray deluxe edition. I think it's the exact same kind of type of packaging for exactly the same price. So if you haven't already got it on DVD or Blu-ray, pick up the Blu-ray. Definitely, I recommend it for sure. I like to get it myself at some point. But if you still got this edition and you haven't got a Blu-ray yet, so don't worry too much about it. It's still very, very good. The quality of the movie is still excellent. I watched this on the Blu-ray. A Blu-ray player, still really fantastic, still really, really enjoyable. The packaging, I think, is absolutely fantastic. It looks really, really gorgeous. If you look at it, there you go. Really, really nice packaging. I'll take the thing off. There you go. There you go. You get this nice little thing. It tells you all the extras there. Pretty cool stuff. And it's a really, really nice feel to the actual, box set itself. It's really, really nice. It's kind of a strong kind of soft cardboard thing. You can take there. Casino Royale. Go back there. This is definitely worth the money. It has all the nice extras, which I really want. I like my extras. I like my knowing more about the movie. And of course, there. And yeah, of course, you get Daniel Craig. There you go. So if I open up here, it's a 3-disc set. And there's a nice little booklet in the middle, and everything you want to know about the movie is, of course, inside. So fantastic. I would definitely recommend this version if you haven't got it already. The 2-disc version, if you're not bothered, I recommend this if you're after extras, pretty much. If you want to know more about the movie, how it was made and stuff, I would definitely recommend the deluxe edition. So that's been the Casino Royale review. If I hope you enjoyed watching this video, what do you think of the movie? What do you think of Quantum of Solace? What do you think of the new Skyfall coming out later this week? Love to know, comment down below. Love to discuss about it. So in the meantime, thank you for me TV.